I'm here with Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, one of the world's largest social networks, very much focused on business contacts. What is happening, are you finding, with the economic crisis? Are people logging on more often? Are they pimping up their profiles?
I don't think the usual word they think of is pimping them, although that's very street slang. What I think is happening is that people are paying a lot more attention, given the economic turmoils, to where do their economic opportunities come, to diversifying, even if they they have kept their job, what do their future prospects look like? So I think people are filling out LinkedIn profiles, being much more attentive to what kinds of economic opportunities. One of the key things is how do you brand yourself on the internet. So it's actually good to be careful, not just about how you establish your profile on LinkedIn, but also in other social networks. One of the things we do for you on LinkedIn is we actually try to SEO your profile so that when people Google you, the first thing they find is your LinkedIn profile, because we figure that's what you would want a stranger to find.
Okay, so let's take this from the point of view of top tips for pimping your profile.
So, key things, if what you want to do is look professional, competent, and good, have a reasonably full profile. Doesn't mean exhaustive, but kind of like what you've done. Get some of your friends to recommend you so that you can have the recommendations there. Publish it to a public profile. Use your name in the personal URL so that helps Google know that this is actually really you. In terms of being able to, because what you most want people to find you from Google is, if your name's Reid Hoffman, you type Reid Hoffman and they find the thing that you want. And one of the things that actually this plays into reputational information is, even if you have, say, a flame war you had with someone or an embarrassing picture, if you actually put the LinkedIn information above it, it's the things that's found first. And that's actually part of what we do to try to help people with their reputation.
So reputational management is one thing that can help.
Yes.
That you would do. Okay.
Exactly, and so it's make it a reasonably full profile that actually describes you, and then get some recommendations.
So how have behaviors changed in the crisis? What have you seen people doing, or how are people behaving differently now from 6 months ago or a year ago on LinkedIn?
Well, it's interesting to try to discern just quarter by quarter. Our revenue and usage and everything else goes up anyway.
Right.
So the question is the extra acceleration that we got in Q4 the economy, right, or just the natural acceleration? We do see a lot more people, like for example in tweets, on Twitter and so forth, talking about like, okay, we need to update a LinkedIn profile, I need to make sure that it's there just in case, that sort of thing, and usage is substantially up.
Okay, excellent. So that's great. LinkedIn is a way to help find a new job.
That's one thing. It's also, for example, if you end up doing consulting and being kind of treated as an expert, right? So we actually have hedge funds that search LinkedIn looking for experts that they pay as ways of kind of what kind of stock position they take. Kind of don't know how much that's happening in the last month or two, but
hedge funds aren't looking so much these days.
Yes, well, they still have to invest some money, so I presume it's still operative, but it's more.
Okay, so you looked at this from the point of view of the individuals who are going on there to pimp their profiles. With all these people gathering there, is there an opportunity for brands to advertise there or relate there? Is there?
So one of the key things. One of the ways that blogging is described is essentially you establish your brand through conversation. One of the things about social networks is another way of saying, okay, I put my brand in a place where people are essentially congregating, communicating, and if you can actually have a conversation with the brand, it's particularly interesting. So I'll indicate two instances, one Facebook, one LinkedIn. Facebook is they have these fan pages where people can fan it and say, okay, this is a movie I really like, this is a soft drink I really like, etc. And it's a way of treating it as kind of the brand as another virtual friend. That's one interesting approach. On LinkedIn, we actually took our polling product, which we use and allow people to run their own kind of market surveys and target that to very specific demographics, and we ported that over into the advertising product. So part of what happens is, when a car company like Mazda, advertised on LinkedIn, they said, well, which of these characteristics do you most like in a car? And part of how the LinkedIn polling product works is when you click on it, we actually show you the breakout of, well, okay, how many people in your region, and how many people are senior professionals, and how many people in the internet industry, and all that kind of stuff.
So by definition, you can give a much more granular look at it than almost anyone.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's self-filled in, and you're opt-in.
Yep, and that allows a really interesting conversation with the brand, because what happens is like for example, classic brand marketing is the brands want you to remember what it is. Well, they remember it because you actually got a chance to fill out something about like what it is you preferred, and then discover something about yourself relative to other people.
Okay, all right. So it's an opportunity to interact with the crowd gathered while they're looking for jobs.
Jobs is probably about, on estimate, probably about 20-25%.
What are most people doing?
Well, it's a very long tail, right? So there is job-seeking recruiting, there's BD people, there's salespeople, there's entrepreneurs, there's journalists actually looking for sources and whatnot. There's networkers, right? People who just actually believe that part of the way that you establish a presence and manage your career is by building connections kind of on only a semi-purpose-driven basis. It's a very long set. There's hedge fund managers looking for experts. It's a very long set.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you.